We ended up winning that deal. We picked this deal up for $7.4 million. The highest offer was $8.3 million. How did we pick it up for $7.4 million? Have you ever seen on an apartment building for sale that they don't give you the price, it just says TBD? Well, if you've ever seen that, that's called a call for offers. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to drive in as many offers as possible on that property, hoping that buyers like you and I will submit their best and highest offer, and a lot of people do. Step number one is you should never be submitting an LOI before talking to the broker. You need to be asking the broker over and over again, man, what is the seller looking for? Everyone needs something, and you get what you want by helping other people get what they need. So asking and asking and asking. On this deal, for example, the seller was very nervous to do a call to offers because he had never done a call to offers before. And he was nervous that he was gonna wrap it up with somebody that wouldn't get to the closing period. The due diligence process is a very disruptive process. And so the last thing that any seller wants to do is go through that process and then have a buyer have to back out and not buy the property, because now it puts them in a weak position. So understanding that that was the problem, that was the concern, we had to ask what would give them the confidence that we would close. And it was hard earnest money day one. Now, we don't typically do hard earnest money day one, but we did hard earnest money day one based on our performance. The seller is worried about us performing and closing. We're worried about the property actually having any defects or issues on the property. The seller's not worried about that, and I'm not worried about my side. So that's step one. Number two, though, is now the seller's interview. So we get into the seller's interview. What this is anytime that there is a call to offers, the broker and the seller will pick the top 2 to 3 buyers and hold a seller's interview. And it's just like it sounds. The seller is interviewing you to determine, are you capable of buying this property? Are you the one that they want to sell this property to? Well, listen, Signal Hill, this property, it was the first seller's interview that we had ever done. So if we've never done a seller's interview, what should we do? Well, man, we need to flip the focus, switch seats, and truly see it from their perspective and understand what questions they're gonna be asking, what things are important to know. So we start asking our mentors, our coaches, our other partners that have been in a seller's interview, those who have won a seller's interview, and those who have been sellers in a seller's interview. Once again, truly switching seats. And that's framework number one, man, is switch seats. I want to see it from their perspective. Now that we understand what their concerns are, what they're looking for, now what we can do is we can prepare for this seller's interview, what those questions are, and how we're going to answer those questions. For example, we get deeper into this. We ended up winning that deal. We picked this deal up for $7.4 million. The highest offer was $8.3 million. How did we pick it up for $7.4 million? We switched seats. We understood what they were looking for, what he was looking for. We used response blocks. We also used frame control. See, frame control, in life, we have perspectives. And in life, perspectives blend. But in business, we have frames, and frames don't blend, they collide. There's an amazing book by Oren Klaff called Pitch Anything. And I would highly suggest that you read this book, because this book explains everything that I'm about to explain to you in far greater detail, which is frame control. Frame control is this, okay? Frames, once again, don't blend, they collide. And the stronger frame wins over the other one. Now that sounds aggressive, but frame control is used in a way that all the time, and you don't even, it's very subtle. You don't even recognize that it's being done to you. The quickest, easiest way for me to explain this to you, you know you own the frame if the other people are reacting to you. They own the frame if you are reacting to them. Also understand you're not trying to own every frame. It is very much a back and forth. The key is you need to know what frames you need to own, control, that are critical to the end result that you're looking for. Also, who has the stronger frame, because the stronger frame always wins. So how do you maintain a strong frame? It's logic. If you were to tell me right now that these trees are red, well, my frame would crush your frame all day because they're green. It's logic, right? Now, if someone owns the frame and you need to regain the frame, you have to disrupt their frame. How you disrupt their frame is light humor. Light humor, man, this should be a fun process, So I'm gonna say something, some sort of a joke or some sort of act of defiance that is, once again, very subtle, disrupts their frame, and now you regain the frame. Okay, now once you get into the seller's interview, you need to make sure that you're overcoming concerns and getting through the process to be able to win the deal. Remember, they're interviewing you, they're interviewing a couple others too. So you need to make sure that you come off as the strongest candidate. One of the things that we negotiated, that we were told to negotiate, that we were instructed to negotiate from our coaches, from our mentors, was to be the last person in. That served us very well to be the last person in, because now they can't say, hey, we're gonna talk to so-and-so. We already know they talked to so-and-so. We're gonna get this thing done right now. Well, let me walk you through this framework that we use in this. Number one of our sales framework is called switch seats. I'm gonna switch seats with this seller, understanding their concerns, what their problems are, I wanna switch seats with them, what they're looking for. What we found out on this property is that they definitely want to know where the money's coming from, both debt and equity, but primarily equity. Like, how are you going to raise the money for the deal? Number two, they want to know, especially this seller wanted to know, what's your business plan on this and how are you going to carry it out? Switching seats helps me understand their needs, their concerns, their problems, their issues that they may be having, so that I can overcome those with a response block before they even come up. Response block doesn't mean that I'm trying to block someone's response. That means I care so much about their question, about their concern, about whatever it is that we're talking about, that I'm going to cover it before they even need to bring it up, because that's very, very valuable. So now number two is ask questions. So when we get into the seller's interview, I'm asking them questions about the property, about how they've operated it. This was his baby. He wanted to make sure whoever took this property over maintained the reputation that he had. And he had created a great reputation on that property. So I needed to ask questions to understand truly what their need was, which is then L is locate the pain. The pain was this. He had owned this property with another partner who had just passed away. That's why he had such an emotional tie to the property, is because she was the one who had carried out so much of what they did on the property to maintain the relationship. He wanted to make sure that he maintained the reputation. I identify that through questions, and then we solve those questions and concerns with response blocks. From there, we need to E, which is embrace objections. Embrace any objections. Anytime that they would throw any sort of defiance our way, we wouldn't try to combat it, we wouldn't try to avoid it, we would run head into it. Ask questions to dig deeper. Tell me what you mean by that. Help me understand what the true concern is there. I really, truly want to dial in on what the concern is so that we can get to S, which is solve together. Meaning I'm not just shooting at a blank target. I want him to identify what the target is, what the true need is, and then we can solve that problem together. Y'all, that's how we wrapped this property up for $7.4 million when the highest offer was $8.3 million. What does that mean for us? That means we're able to come in, buy a property at a great price. A great property at a great price. We're able to implement our business plan, which is better operations, to increase rents, increase occupancy, increase curb appeal on the exterior, turn classic units into premium products, reducing the expense ratio, and it drove the value on this property up. We put a different property manager in place that was way better at raising rents. All these things weaponized us, man, with so much ammunition to drive so much value on this property. We sold that property a little over 2 years later for $13.7 million. We created $6.3 million something of equity on that property in a little over 2 years. Why? Because we won the deal. You could be the best operator in the world on these multifamily properties, but if you don't win the deal, that don't mean shit. You have to win the deal, you have to operate the deal, you have to understand how to exit the deal. And the frameworks that I have learned, the frameworks that I have created, the frameworks that we continually teach you are these frameworks that help us win, operate, and exit the deal with max profits. Put this stuff to work. Practice it all the time. Practice the framework. Not overnight, but eventually that framework will become second nature. Now I use that framework in a conversational basis without even thinking about it. Why? Because I've thought about it for a very, very long time. All right, that is how this salesman right here bought an apartment building for almost $1 million less than the other offers, by using the framework that I just walked you through. My friends, if you found some value from this video, which I hope you did, please share with other people. I want to make sure once again that I'm making an impact, and if this made an impact on you, that makes me so happy. The other way that would make me happy is if you share it with others so I can make an impact on them. And as per usual, remember to always, 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 damn it, always live always with aloha. Peace.